Ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your captain, Jimbob Ovalshorts, and tonight, me, Luis, and Bandit are just going to kind of hang out and talk shop. You know, I figure we don't always have to have somebody in here to talk about some stuff, so we're going to catch up on some current events and, you know, probably just poke fun at each other, you know, normal stuff. It's just going to be the three of us tonight, so, you know, I'm kind of looking forward to it. We don't do that too often, and it's always nice to just hang out with the crew. So, you guys buckle in and get ready to have a good time tonight, because I think tonight's going to be real fun. Of course, you guys know that anything that we talk about during the episode can be found over there at everyone's favorite website, unconstitutionalawakening.com, your home for everything us. Man, we got all kinds of good things going on over there, including the current sticker giveaway and stuff we're doing with every single episode. So you guys make sure you're getting on over there and answering those questions and getting you some stickers, man. I've sent off quite a few, and everybody should have them by now. So I'm super excited to have our stickers kind of all over the place, man. And, you know, while you're hanging out over there on the website, you can also check out places to watch us if all you do is listen, and listen if all you do is watch us. You can also listen right there on the website, man. I try to make sure that it was hooked up for you guys. There's also links to get back to our fantabulous merch store to get you some sweet UA merch, some of those stickers, some shirts. Heck, I think Luis got a pillow, and our buddy Steven got a coffee mug. So, you know, there's all kinds of cool things on over there. Just go on and check it out. See if there's something that fits you. You can also check out our friends in Liberty, Kirk Elliott, PhD, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can Survival, Brett Pike with Classical Learner and Homeschools Connected, and Pure Pet Wellness. All of these folks are offering great alternatives to the status quo. And I think it's very honorable for folks to be out there running their own business. And I love to give them plugs. In fact, if you've got a local business and you'd like to get yourself as a sponsor on the show, man, give me a message. We'll see what we can do to help you guys out. I love giving you guys shout outs, and I believe big time in shopping local and taking money away from those big corporations that clearly don't care about us. So, well, I guess enough jib jab from me. Let's weigh anchor and set sail on this guy. It's time to go, I think. What's going on at these airports that you're talking about?
I thought, where's our British American friend?
He's coming. He's just a little behind this evening, so I just figured we'd go ahead.
No, man, no. I'm just saying we this is a weird way. We're like jumping right into an episode. Apparently, Moldavia has How do you, Luis, help me out here? Moldova. They're intelligent. They have intelligence that says there's overwhelming intelligence stating that the Russian forces in Ukraine are going to capture the international airport there, and use it to bring in as a staging point.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, and also today I came upon some info stating that they're that the Russian Federation is going to land people on the moon in July. You know what?
Well, you know what
Props
that
to them.
means? You know what that means? They have no intention of nuking anything.
Maybe they do, and they're going to move to the moon.
I mean,
Come on now.
I guess that would be the way to do it.
Maybe they didn't lose all their trajectory data from their missions into orbit back in the 60s.
Oh, you mean
maybe they still have all their data.
Russians trying to go to the moon?
Whoa. See, no.
I don't know how many Russians died going to the moon, but they tried, and they're all dead.
I mean, how many astronauts did we kill?
So there's the what was it? The story that some of the astronauts that were killed, other than the ones that we literally saw explode, were just killed. Were just killed because of fuck ups.
There is a story.
I mean, it says that after many delays, they're claiming that Luna
right
25,
there, man. Yeah. There we go.
And it's according to Forbes that Luna 25 is planned for a landing mission.
So this brings
they're beating Artemis.
This brings up a horror story of the Russian space program back in the 60s. Apparently, I think it was in the Netherlands. You would have to look it up. Although there's very little going around. I think I might have the audio thanks to 4chan.
I know what you're talking about. The cosmonauts coming down screaming.
Or do you mean
no? That was one guy. That was one guy. No. Yes, I have the audio of him burning up in the atmosphere. Oh, God, that is horrifying.
That is so horrible.
What I'm talking about, is the mission that I think it was a listening station in the Netherlands caught transmission of a lost orbit. Like they overshot, they shot some cosmonauts through their orbit, and they just were floating off into space, never to return again. And I think the Netherlands or something, or Finland or something like that, a listening station caught their broadcasts trailing off into space.
Whoa, that's
terrifying, man. Terrifying.
Let's see. I did find a guy from 61, Yuri Gagarin. Was it
Yuri Gagarin?
Yeah.
Yuri Gagarin.
That was that's a Russian cosmonaut legend, man. Yeah. He was the first person into space.
That's interesting though. I mean, to
Do you know what's funny though is after this invasion of Russia into Ukraine, they are doing everything they can. Like they have revoked Yuri's status in like the NASA hierarchy or whatever. They revoked that, and they're also trying to ban Russian athletes from competing in the Olympics.
So now we're trying to ban from competing in the Olympics.
When Olympics aren't supposed to be political, right?
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, because even Nazi Germany was in the Olympics, weren't they?
Listen, I will say this, and I don't give a shit like the flack I get. Like Putin's speech the other day, he made some valid points. He is a terrible person, and he's done terrible, unspeakable things.
But speak more about
his country.
Speak on the details, because even Biden can say valid points
about the Western's destruction of the nuclear family and their moral values.
Oh yeah, I've heard about. I remember parts about that basically saying it's like how they're just.
It was a good speech in that aspect, and he is right though. He's right.
Yeah, they're trying to destroy it to bring on transhumanism.
Which, I mean, that's
Not just
probably
not just
not.
transhumanism. I think they're doing that to weaken, just like I think they're doing that just to like destroy us from the inside, you know?
Well,
Um,
who was the one that was talking about how you weaken a country
from
by
within.
demoralizing them?
Yeah.
Was it Yuri too?
I
I believe so.
was it.
Yeah, there's a conversation he has with somebody in the
Is
80s.
that was the KGB defector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
He speaks
I
about
wish
it,
I
it'll take about 20 years for us to demoralize the country to a point where they just become apathetic to everything and they don't give a fuck about anything and they'll just like
see we're
whatever.
fighting the good fight from within. We
Well,
are. We're fighting
what
the good fight from within.
that's what happens is that it's
Yes.
it's
It's
internal
exactly who you were
warfare.
talking about. The first state, Yuri, the defected KGB agent.
Yeah, he made a lot of
Um,
his speech when he was sitting down. I can't remember who
the
was interviewing
the
him.
first stage is called demoralization, which takes from 15 to 20
Yep.
years to achieve.
Achieved.
I mean,
Yep. And also, you got to look at I mean,
It was achieved a few years ago.
Him and William Cooper must have been swapping information.
right?
I mean, him and Willie Cooper literally probably talk to each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
bet, man.
probably tried to talk to
There's
him.
just so many similarities between. There's so many similarities between what he talked about and what William Cooper talked about in Behold a Pale Horse that just, I mean, and see, the thing is, it's like that's what Putin spoke on, you know? It's he specifically stated it's the West, demoralizing their own population,
Oh,
destroying their morals, destroying the nuclear family, attacking attacking religion.
you actually bring up a good point. I've had this conversation, I think, with a lot of people.
Can I say one more thing? I want to say one more thing. His speech that he just gave on the 1 year anniversary had a higher percentage of viewers in Ukraine than Zelensky's speech did in Ukraine.
I mean,
Ukraine is not. Zelensky's a mess. The amount of money all these fucks inside of the country are stealing.
Oh yeah.
You see,
I mean,
okay, I'm working with somebody from Ukraine, and it's to help people there because they're not getting a dime of that money.
nope.
Nobody in that country is seeing any of that money. Not a single person. Well, except all the ultra rich people. The ultra rich people are getting all of the money.
and guess who has whole bunches of money that are ultra rich in Ukraine? A lot of people that aren't, really from Ukraine.
Which ones? Which countries?
Oh, people like, Hunter Biden and all of his investments that he has there.
Okay, so now it's finally common knowledge that it all happened. So why is there even a question?
Because there are people that are too stupid to realize, what's right in front of their face,
and
which includes a majority of the population.
And not to mention all of the like the investments because of all of the pharmaceutical companies working out of Ukraine, which are a lot.
Bioweapons or pharmaceutical companies.
I mean, one and the same.
Or are they one and the same?
One and the same if you're talking
one and the same.
Because let's be real. Look at things like Bayer.
Dude, you ain't gonna tell me, man.
And where they started.
Who created DDT? Agent Orange. I mean,
and you have all these pharmaceutical companies that literally came out of Nazi Germany's for chemical warfare, and
yeah, I know.
Now they make all of our medicine and spray all of our food, and it's still a lot of the same companies today. And those are, I understand a lot of people think that there is health in like help in pharmaceutical medicine. I get that, but like and from everything that I've seen, like surgery and antibiotic advancement, that stuff's amazing. But as far as things that they can put you on that you can pay for, or the insurance company can pay
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, with side effects that ruin other things, like blood pressure medicines go after kidneys and legs, and like
Mhm.
I've explained this to people in the past before, and like what really turned
Watch
me
Dope
on,
Sick.
what really turned me on to all of this was years ago. I got a crazy idea to go and decide to help my grandmother out. She had nobody around for 15 years. Nobody at all around for 15 years after my grandfather died, and we all went all different kinds of ways. And when I was 18 and looking for another place to just vanish to, I ran up to New York State for a little while and was living with her and helping her get around because she was blind. But even blind, she did very well by herself. When I arrived and stuff, she was pretty good. But by the time we got to Georgia, they were taking her leg and she was in so much bad shape. When we actually got here to Georgia, I demanded that her brand new doctor reevaluate everything that the doctors in New York had done. And it turned out she was on like 6 different blood pressure medications and all this other kind of stuff from all these different doctors because they were just looking at her as a meal ticket.
Yeah.
And I've watched the pharmaceutical industry kill my grandmother. And like I will never give up the fight to like be against the pharmaceutical company. It's just it's a terrible thing to watch them destroy people for money.
I hate like mentioning like things to watch on Hulu like I did yesterday. I'm going to mention it again today. The series with Michael Keaton called Dope Sick on Hulu
I've heard
is a
great things
really good
about
look.
it.
Oh man, it is amazing, man. Next to Batman, that's probably one of the better things he's done. But it is a really good look into what the pharmaceutical industry will do to you for money and the lines they will cross and the morals that they will just like throw in the gutter to make money.
I mean, and I see this in so many different aspects of like the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It's a good series,
When
man.
you go back when I guess one of the biggest things I like to point out is the I've known a lot of people in my time, been around a lot of people in my time that I've seen have massive pill addictions.
Oh my
And
god, man. Wait,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
talking
whoa, whoa.
I'm talking get the pill, crush it up and pill
Hey,
addictions.
nothing will beat what they did to soldiers returning from Iraq and Afghanistan in the very beginning of the war back in 2003, 2004, 2005. What they would, I mean, they would give these guys just the pills that would come from the distribution center. They would give them 300 and 400 count of Percocets just to here, just here, take these.
400 perks.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, did you ever see yourself or you had friends that saw that absurd amount? And what
I
was the
saw
amount?
absurd amounts of pill abuse.
Oh,
Just enough to make you go, this isn't right,
Yeah. Oh
And I
wow.
saw kids get out. I saw kids get out with pill
So
addictions.
so
They just literally did not care.
I don't
you're
think
talking
it's. I think it's worse
you
that didn't care.
you're talking about
They're
how
right there.
you well I'm saying though you're talking about how you've seen them basically giving them to this, and like when you're going through this over here,
Uh huh.
they're like, oh man, it's just gone up so much since the 2000s, and like, yeah, you're right, like it obviously they're just giving them to them, and like
Without a care in the
me and
world.
in episodes ago, Bandit, me and you talked about that episode where the original Tom Cruise was going off the deep end,
Oh yeah, when he was
talking
talking
about these
about
antidepressants.
well, they're now now I will say he made some extremely valid points as far as like certain
Aspects
mental
of it.
illnesses just certain aspects of mental illnesses just don't exist, but then, because I won't deny the, existence of mental illness. It is very real.
Sure.
But to the point that they're handing out these antipsychotics that completely change people,
they're doing it at such a young age.
It's not necessary.
If you're a little
doing
kid
it at such a young age,
if you got a little kid that's got ants in his pants, then he needs something to make him sit still. And like, I'm like, no, like
meth for kids,
like
also known as
well, they're not giving they're not giving amphetamines anymore to children, thankfully.
Yes, but like our whole generation,
that screwed up a whole generation.
That's what they did to a lot of them.
No, they did. I have a friend. Her brother was given Ritalin very young. It affected his growth. So Ritalin is known to affect actual growth. So if you give Ritalin to a child, you will fuck up their bones for life. Good job, parents.
No, I don't think I got that, but I'm just naturally short. But like I've known a lot of people.
No. It stunts growth, Jimmy.
I really don't. Like my mom wasn't a pill person. My mom
was but I'm telling you, Ritalin actually stunts growth.
Was a paddle. She still has it hanging on the wall. It has holes in it. It says Mama's paddle on it, and it still makes my ass cheeks clench when I walk in her house and see it hanging there.
That didn't prevent you from growing, though.
No, but it prevented me from getting caught at doing a lot of things.
Well, you're here. So something worked.
Because, my mom was kind of old school, and sure, she would threaten us with an ass whooping, but I can probably count on my hands the number of times that I got caught and got that ass whooping. And like my brother, on the other hand, like he was the hard head, and like I've seen her and him go blow for blow. That's how much of it was. And he, he's a cop now, believe it or not. Well, I'm sorry, he's not a cop. He's a cold case detective, and that's the only reason I give him a little bit of credit, because he's not
carrying around a gun,
and he's actually solving like a crime. Like he's putting to rest something that the police just kind of brushed off and left for the next guy to pick up.
I appreciate some departments have cold case divisions.
He's doing he's in Atlanta, so like he's Mr. High Profile. I'll give it to him. When he was a beat cop still, he helped
was a jerk.
No, well, he was at first, but he helped detect and bust out an entire department that was running cocaine out of
wait. He was able to snitch on a department that was running a cocaine operation.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
He's lucky he didn't get.
You got to give props to your brother. That's some.
He's lucky. He's lucky he didn't get Serpa code.
Well, thankfully, like it was like his superior was on his side with it, because it was some guy that was, like another sergeant or something of the department, the same department he was in. And like when he figured it out and blew it all in, it kind of made a big deal. It's been years back, but he got out of being a cop directly after that. Like that's when he started looking into being a detective, and now he's an Atlanta cold case detective, and he's out there finding people that people forgot about. And like I think that's an honorable thing to do. Like that, to me, I'm just like, all right, dude, you break the stigma, and even though I'm still going to say all cops are bad, like you at least break the stigma, because you're an asshole.
Oh, they absolutely are.
I'm like, you're an asshole in real life, but you're a good dude doing something noble. So like, I got to give you that.
Speaking of cops, did you see the new case that just came out of Colorado?
What just came out of Colorado?
That that one cop that shot that dude to death, that point blank.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's probably one of the most of all of the police cases that I've seen where things like that have happened. This one is probably the hardest to watch, because he states at the very beginning Like, don't get too close to me, man, because I've had run-ins with you before where you've beat me for no reason at all. And then they in turn do that exact same thing to him. You know, you can't help but watch that video or read what happened and go, how can you support this anymore?
I'm gonna be unfortunately it's buried by another story that's been going on since 22 minutes ago about
What's happening
a
now?
Colorado Springs club shooter carrying out a shooting.
What just happened?
MK Ultra hard at work, man.
MK Ultra hard at work. We have a 22-year-old Colorado Springs club shooter ran neo-Nazi site. Something about a shooting at a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs.
Another one?
Well, this happened in November, but it has something to do with
Yeah.
the dude finally being charged.
This
22
is
minutes ago.
this is the one that was trans. I mean, or
Yeah.
not trans. They were
Non-binary. He's
non-binary.
non-binary.
Thank you.
Yep.
Which is not trans.
Yeah.
It's more. This is the thing.
No,
most of
they're
these fall under the category of queer, and then
Yeah.
they just made queer 100-fold more complex. But it literally should be LGBTQ.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No maps.
Oh, well, those are a separate category that, you should have that on standby. Like, you know what you should have on standby. Just you should have like a compilage by now. You already made a recent image about that. The run you made. You should show that one. You know what we do with maps.
If the computer would just be cooperative for like a minute instead of laughing at me like it's doing right now, because it's totally like ha ha ha, you don't get to do this. But I mean, there is totally one thing that I've always had a suggestion for that, and Mr. Chippy says that most maps don't reoffend. So, it's quite all right if you ask me. I don't know if you I know this is like the Facebook world, and Facebook is really not important. Like, it's not real life. But I find some things kind of funny and interesting there sometimes. We're friends with the ladies over there at Anarchist Beauties, and they were making some posts about maps and how similar to Mr. Chippy there. And some dude was in there basically trying to beg his piece of why he got turned into a meme and has been drug across the internet by several other pages.
He's been defending maps.
Oh, he was trying, but in
an anarchist page. Is he a lunatic?
I think he was asking for it. Like,
it's like anarchists are usually the ones that'll literally tell you off.
I think this is the next step. Like, I think they're trying real hard, and it really isn't. I think they overplayed their hand with this in trying to make pedophilia socially
legal.
Acceptable.
Yeah,
and people
they're still trying. They're going to keep trying.
They're going to keep trying, but I really think people aren't going to cross that line. I don't think society is going to be like, oh, well, no, I don't think so. I think a majority of society is going to be like, nah, I don't think so.
Well, it's a very well. You saw that Japan is actually raising the age of consent.
Yes,
from 13 years old
to 16.
Why the hell was it at 13 in the first place? I mean, no wonder there's so much problems in Japan.
Hey, did I just way off subject? Did I just see that they passed a bill
I didn't read it all.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll send it to you. Yeah,
saying that women have to register for the selective service now?
Oh, really?
That should be that should be mandatory. The same way we are. Let's.
Equality,
baby.
I'll be damned. No, I'll be damned if I'm going to let my two daughters get drafted here.
Oh, come
I'll
on.
say that right now, man.
All right. We'll figure out 100 loopholes by then.
Yeah. I
Don't worry.
I
about
won't
it.
let I
Don't
won't
worry
let any of
about
my kids get drafted for this nonsense.
You
Nah.
are right, and we will ensure that doesn't happen. So don't worry
I
about
won't. It's not. There's no justifiable reason in my eyes right now that we should be going to war with another country, and unless
it. Did you hear
there's
that Trump said I could stop the war in 24 hours?
yeah, I heard that right after he visited, or was it while he was visiting Palestine, Ohio?
Palestine. Yeah. Well,
Wow,
is it
wait,
Palestine
he
or
went-
Palestine?
went-
How the hell
he
do you
went
pronounce
there?
I
it?
think it's East Palestine.
Wait,
Yeah, he was there.
Palestine,
I'll
East
give it to
Palestine.
him.
Sorry.
He went
He
there.
brought things. He brought things at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
He at least brought things. This is the thing other people commented was he should have come earlier and brought inspectors with him, and he would have looked 100 times better because the EPA is not doing shit. It is the local government that's doing all the work. The EPA has said that Norfolk, whatever the hell can you pronounce that?
Norfolk.
Garbage company owned 80% by BlackRock. Is it 80 by BlackRock and Vanguard own 80% of it?
They're paying out $7.5 million to the people of East Palestine.
It was
They're paying out
25,000 originally.
Yeah, they're like $7.5 million, but they're paying out $8 billion to their shareholders.
Okay, no. This gets worse. The car was on fire.
Imagine my shocked face.
Three things. The car was on fire miles before, so it had what's called.
Oh yeah, I saw the video of that. There's video evidence of that.
It had Hot Wheels. Only 3 people were in the entire train, and no wonder they didn't notice. It was only 3 people in the entire train because they were trying to automate these trains. They were trying to make them autonomous. 60,000 gallons of oil, proprietary chemicals that we don't know, seeped into the ground and burned. We don't know what the fuck those things were. They say vinyl chloride because it's convenient, because the other chemicals are way worse than vinyl chloride. And the thing is, when they burned it, it wasn't vinyl chloride. It turned into other chemicals. But the problem is they burned other chemicals too. And the burning was like the last option of all the options. They should have tried to like cool them down and try to figure out options. They did the worst possible thing.
The thing is, they didn't burn it hot enough, because that black plume. I watched a video where this guy came in and did, and it's the black plume meant that there was not sufficient fuel oxygen ratio to properly burn off what was there. So that black plume was just unburnt whatever was there right into the atmosphere.
Into our lungs, into my lungs, into your lungs,
into the ground,
into the groundwater. Thank you, causing potentially hundreds of billions of dollars. Thanks to corporations.
Have you or a family member been exposed to a cloud of vinyl chloride in the last 20 years? You may be entitled to financial compensation.
This is the worst part. I think of it all. When are we gonna then have an antitrust case against Norfolk and destroy them? Just dismantle that company. That company must be destroyed. Screw that company. That company.
They're in my backyard. They're in my backyard, so I would like them gone.
We have to destroy.
They literally are like 100 meters. They're literally like 100 meters in my backyard.
Wait. What did you say? Did you say
a train that runs a train runs 100 meters from your house?
All right, so I know
it's a switch. It's a Norfolk Southern switch yard.
So I know
one of the largest in Kentucky.
I know it's a fictitious, well, mostly fictitious story, but it talks about, and it's not even really focusing on the railroads, but the like side story, the background story of this show is the building of the railroads. it's got Anson Mount in it. It was called Hell on Wheels. I actually okay.
What's
badass
it about?
show, man.
So all right, so it's about after the Confederate.
Vengeance.
It's about after
It's a
the Confederate.
vengeance story.
It's about after the Confederate War, and yeah, like there's the whole vengeance story. That's the Anson Mount part of it, but the background story that's kind of going on the whole time is it's after the Confederate War, and they're building the railroads, and all the railroad
Transcontinental.
all the railroad companies on the even on the ones that you're not really keeping the story on the entire time are in the race to be the first one to get across the country, and there's a bunch of corruption and stuff going on in it. And the reason I bring this up is because the kind of governor style character that's in there, and I forget who plays him, but he's the leader dude. Like he's a big bad kind of throughout the story. But from what I was reading about this show is that things were written, a lot of this show was actually written off of his journal. So it's actually like something from stories that he was writing in his journal about the corruptive things that he was actually doing to make sure he was the successful person at the railroad. From hiring former slaves to enslaving basically Asian people and, treating people like garbage just to be the first person to get.
Don't forget the Irish.
Oh, and the Irish, absolutely. And it's a really good story. I will say that last season, because the way that they kind of canceled it and they split it into two, and that last season's kind of but that was a really good storytelling Western of how corrupt the railroads are. And this is something that's actually very true, because the railroad system from its inception was bankers. Like it was bankers trying to get their money for an investment to make sure that they were, the ones ahead of the game.
The thing is, it makes sense it's bankers, because it's about exchange. What is the fastest way to get things from A to B? So it makes a lot of sense that everything related to infrastructure is invested by the largest, most powerful people on the face of the earth. They want to increase the velocity of money. That is the number one prerogative to increase the value of any economy. The faster people can move between each other, the faster people can trade between each other, the more overall value you can create for the economy. The problem lies in all the corruption in the way. And right now, you even look at the United States and what's happening.
Thomas Doc Durant. That's who, when I was doing some research about this show, that's whose journal they have.
Yeah, Colmini.
Because he was a real guy, the Thomas Doc Durant.
Yeah.
And the rest of the story is kind of based off around it and stuff. It's some very interesting stuff. Like, and I think it's worth a watch. Like, I think if you've got enough time to sit down and binge, what is it, 5 seasons? Like, it's totally worth it. Like, if you're gonna binge something,
I've never heard of this series. Interesting.
It was when AMC was trying to get themselves into the market of streaming in the early days, and
when they were doing,
they did a pretty good job.
Well, they did a good job with Walking Dead, the intro episode. That was a piece of art. Oh, yeah. They spent a lot of money on that episode too, but it was well done.
AMC, did a good job with The Walking Dead all the way up to like season 4 or 5.
Was it 4 or 5 when they fucked up and it just went south? And they killed that kid. When they killed that guy, I think it's when they killed that
the Asian guy.
The Asian character. I think that's when everybody started like.
See, when they introduced,
they really liked that character.
Negan. When they introduced Negan,
which I've never seen that season. What season is that?
In the graphic novel series, Negan was a monster, just a horrific person, just shit of absolute nightmares. And when they introduced him in The Walking Dead, I was like, oh, he's a gay biker. That's what this guy is. And it turned, as soon as I was like, that's not Negan, man. Then it went downhill. We see that a lot. Like, a series will go strong for like 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. And then it'll just be like, the writers would just be like, let's half-ass the rest of it. The greatest example of that is Game of Thrones.
Well, Game of Thrones, it was actually because the author didn't finish the fucking book. Let's blame.
It got terrible after season 6.
It's because there was no book.
Yeah, horrible. I mean, they could have tried harder. I mean,
they could have tried harder. Yes, I don't disagree with you, but at the end of the day, I've never seen the end of the actual end. The end is the same. If I'm correct, the end of Game of Thrones is the same. But that's it.
I've told you I sat there and watched Negan kill the Asian dude across the street from my house, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that story that they paid you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, I mean, because again, it wasn't really.
Yeah, you didn't want to leak it. They didn't want you to.
Oh, I mean, but it just wasn't really my interest. I didn't at that time. I was a troll, but I wasn't gonna do spoilers on people. Now I will do spoilers on people just because it's funny to watch them get mad.
No, the best thing is actually to give them fake spoilers.
Oh, that's the best. Yes, it is. You are 100%
that's the best
correct.
Because you actually didn't do anything wrong. You just pissed them off. So in reality, you're just fucking with them. That's really the best way to do it. You're genuinely not spoiling it. You're just screwing with them. And if you get it right by accident, well,
especially
good job on you.
Especially when you don't watch something and you're just throwing out just random shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, almost everybody I know is watching The Last of Us. But I just saw I saw the latest one, and they skipped through a ton of the story that was very complicated and very nice. Like the last one, there is a huge sequence of scenes in the game that you were playing in that are very important to the story because it helps you understand how they're so bonded. Skip through all of it.
I mean, can I ask, because I did watch The Mandalorian, is it just The Mandalorian with aliens or with different kinds of alien monsters and no Mandalorian suit and no Baby Yoda?
Oh, because it's basically I understand, but that's actually a classic trope. It's not only Mandalorian.
Sure. But I'm saying but it's the same. No. It's the same guy playing the same.
No. Yes.
Is he playing like the strong fatherly leader that is helping the orphan?
I mean, it's a video game that came out several years ago. The guy got shot, and he's currently fucked. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. The video game came out 6 years ago. Like, I'm not spoiling anything. Everybody that played the video game, Bandit, you're muted. The video game came out 6-7 years ago. I can't spoil a game that's been literally re-released twice.
Joel got fucked up in the game.
Oh yeah, he's already at that
there were so many different times.
Okay.
Yeah, you just you see so.
I mean, Joel dies at the end. And then Ellie becomes. That's
no, he doesn't. Joel does not die at the end of The Last of Us. He dies at the beginning of The Last of Us Part 2.
Sorry.
The game.
Where does the part where I keep dying and start saying fuck and throw the controller? Do they have that part in there?
That'll happen a lot, man.
Oh, that game
that'll happen a lot.
I'm saying, do they have
game?
Do they have that part in the show though? Is there the part where the guy?
Oh, the show hasn't finished yet. The show hasn't finished yet.
Where the guy on the outside's getting mad.
But see, went over y'all's head. Pedro Pascal is not the actor I would have chosen to play Joel.
You mean?
I mean, he doesn't play a bad Joel. The last episode it was somewhat similar to Joel, but I
really think it's kind of like they took away something from Joel in the game when they casted Pedro Pascal. I really do.
What would you say then?
Who?
Yes.
I still think Josh Brolin would have been the best cast for Joel.
Oh my God, he was in Buffy?
He was in Buffy.
What was he, a vampire?
He was totally a vampire.
Oh, it's funny. Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's cool. It's wild when you see.
I mean, now he's basically the most famous Mexican actor in the world.
But that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, once he got that Star Wars ticket, he basically got the I can do anything role. because that show is $130 million. It's one of the most. It's a very expensive show.
And better than
The
the last
Mandalorian.
3 movies.
Yes.
Oh,
The
God, not
Mandalorian
without a
is
doubt.
actually very watchable. The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, they're both very watchable.
Even some of the spinoffs.
I wanna
there are
watch
Boba
a couple
Fett's
of
great.
spinoffs, not just.
I want to watch.
Yeah, I've heard Boba Fett is amazing. No, there's a couple of other spinoffs, Star Wars spinoffs, and I've heard they're freaking spectacular.
It's very it's structured. It's the continuous structured stories
Don't worry.
in a video game esque framework, and that's
Don't-
why they work. And
don't
I think
worry,
it's
when-
because
when-
they're built like a video game.
When James Gunn is done with the DCU, he'll probably take on the Star Wars U, and
Oh my
Just ruin it all, ruin everything.
Just
Come
ruin
on.
it all, man.
I mean, he did the Watchmen, right? Oh, no, it wasn't.
Now,
That wasn't.
speaking of the DC universe, I have found that they are doing that there is a Lobo project in the works.
What was Lobo's
If
power?
you don't
other
know-
than he could fight.
He's
other than he could
Deadpool.
fight Superman.
he's Deadpool.
Lobo is the main man.
He's Deadpool of the DC universe.
But he can fight Superman.
He went toe to toe with Superman like nothing, and he killed
Deadpool.
Santa Claus. Yeah, and he killed Santa
Okay.
Claus.
But I don't know much about the story of Lobo. Elaborate.
I got like a stack of his comics sitting
Okay,
here.
so tell
I
me.
mean, and the thing is, I've heard Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo, which might actually work. It might just actually work. He's an interplanetary bounty hunter, is what he is. And he's just like, I think they just took everything that they wanted in a badass character and put them in with Lobo, and just like made him like this like picturesque like badass. You know, you would have to go look up and look at some of his comics and short clips and stuff like that.
Lobo's a cool guy. No, I'm not even gonna lie. Like
It should be a good movie. It should be an entertaining movie, to say the least.
yeah. I mean, depending on what they do with him.
I mean, are they
Yes,
gonna? No, this is the biggest question. Are they really gonna paint them all white and black, or are they gonna change that too?
I say they should go for
don't
classic
know,
Lobo.
Are they gonna go?
I really do.
I think they should go for classic Lobo
Classic with the hair, because that's why they picked Jason Momoa.
right here. No. Classic.
No,
Yes,
not
he's
classic.
in.
Classic.
Zoom in.
It's not letting me.
Command plus.
Go newer Lobo.
What's the difference?
Just
Show him the difference.
hang on.
What? Okay.
If you,
remember-
yeah.
And what was the one that was powered by cocaine?
The white. Oh man, his name was like cocaine, like in words.
White something.
Yeah,
How did we get to where we're talking about right now? How did we get here?
because it just
Mendel
happened.
Pascal,
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
The Last of Us. And then you said there's a new Lobo movie coming out.
I think, well, did you ever watch his show Narcos?
I can't say that I have watched that. No.
That is a good show. I'll give it to him. He was good. Narcos was a good show.
Wait, what the heck was he in? I watched Narcos. Now, what season was he in?
Narcos is a good show.
But what season of Narcos? Because I didn't see.
1 and 2, I think. First and second, I think, wasn't it? Him and Boyd Holbrook. Boyd Holbrook was in Narcos with Pedro Pascal. Yeah, that good show, man. Good show.
Okay.
Good show.
It took me a minute, but I finally
Okay,
found
Pedro
it.
Pascal is in season 3. That's what. Okay, in season. Yeah, season. He's in. Okay, what? Okay. That's so interesting. How the hell did I?
Now, let's not go classic Lobo.
Come on, bro. Let's just do.
Let's
classic.
go new Lobo. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do.
They're not gonna do old Lobo. That looks
No.
ridiculous.
They're not going to do old Lobo.
They're gonna do the new one. And
Yeah.
if Jason,
I mean, is this going to be
This
like? Is this where we're at? Is this where like?
I mean,
the
if
comic
reality
movies?
is this,
There we go. Upper left. There we go. Upper left. Right there. Nope.
This?
Left. One more. Oh, see, that's no. Yeah, that's that. See, these are the characters. This is the Lobo that they are probably going to try and pull off.
are they gonna go full violent?
I hope so. Is
But
this
why
where we're at with superhero movies, though? Is this
Lobo
where
a
it's
time
come?
traveler? Is this he a time traveler? I don't get the dinosaurs. I'm so confused.
Lobo can do what he wants.
What's his superpower?
He is the main man.
Well, what's his power framework? Is
He-
he just
Basically,
godlike for no reason?
invincibility, almost invincibility, superhuman strength.
Is
Yeah.
he basically just an omega? Like he's an omnipotent being?
Yes, he's
Is he just a god?
He's an alien from the utopian planet Zaria and works as an interstellar mercenary and bounty hunter.
Yeah, and
It's first appeared in
you know-
Omega Man 3.
That's that. Is this where we're at though? There was so many like superhero directions they could have gone. There was so like I mean, but this
Listen,
is where they've.
I'll start it. Like I'll start the hashtag or whatever, and let him get behind it. But I think Wesley Snipes needs another chance to be Blade.
I do.
Rated R.
I mean,
I do. Can we
but
just
without-
ignore Blade Trinity?
Yes.
But also,
Can we
without
ignore Blade
the-
Trinity
the
and make
ta-
a Blade 3?
You have to do it without the tax evasion.
Can we do it
without the.
Maybe we can add that to the story. Maybe
if I would
Blade
expect,
does some
if I
tax
would,
evasion.
I would expect Blade not to pay taxes.
Dude, the fact he didn't pay like $8 million in taxes.
That
I'm
man's a
like,
hero.
bro. No, the way
I
he did it
mean,
was
but that's
stupid.
normal though. That's normal in Hollywood. I think he might have done something else for them to investigate his taxes.
He pissed somebody
But
off.
I think we
He
can
pissed
do-
somebody off.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he knew some. Maybe he was gonna talk about some trip to an island that he got invited to that he denied or something, and they told
Maybe
him.
he got invited and he
but-
didn't like it, and he spoke about it.
Let's scrap Blade Trinity and just do Blade 3.
I mean,
Okay,
we got Deadpool
that's
out
where
of
we're-
Blade Trinity. Why are you complaining so much?
Because we had Triple H as a vampire.
Blade Trinity
Oh
was
my
terrible.
But we got Deadpool, bitch.
Blade 2 was fucking top notch, man.
But didn't we get Deadpool in
But,
Blade Trinity? Was it Blade Trinity that Deadpool shows up like the bad Deadpool?
No. The bad Deadpool showed up in Wolverine Origins.
Oh.
but
My god,
the
we're not
character-
going to talk about that Deadpool.
the character that Ryan Reynolds portrayed in Blade Trinity is closer to his Deadpool character than Deadpool.
Than that terrible fucking rendition of Deadpool that was in the X-Men movie.
They did that on
Why
purpose.
why did they even
Oh.
do that? That
They
made
did-
no sense when I saw that. I was like, he has no mouth. He has no
Horrible.
mouth. When Deadpool is literally a loud mouth. Why did they close up his
Yeah.
mouth? Like, what are these people thinking? What drugs are they taking? It isn't cocaine anymore that these producers
this is
are
and,
why-
taking.
and some of the things
This is
I
why
don't
I
think
like.
and none of the X-Men movies were even that good.
Man, Days of Future Past
That
was
was-
badass.
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
I like.
okay.
I remember that's the one I was remembering. Actually, I was like, which one do I remember?
Days
Oh,
of
that
the
one.
Future Past 1 and 2 in the cartoon series were better because Mr. Sinister was actually in it, and
Sure.
he wasn't just some stupid character with a briefcase at the
Sure.
very end. Because Mr. Sinister in the cartoon series was
Should they have integrated more of those giant mechs? If I keep forgetting
the Sentinels?
The Sentinels.
Yeah, should they have integrated them
Sentinels.
more? The Sentinels. They were so.
I
different
think
in
there
this
should have
and-
been. Yeah, I think they should have been. I really think they should have gone a darker avenue, and they should have been there should have been some rated R versions like Deadpool. for X-Men.
With Cable. Oh,
Yeah,
with Cable and with Cable
Josh Brolin nailed Cable. I could not have imagined a better actor to play Cable because he was one of my favorite characters.
Some of those guys though are like made for the part. Like Hugh Jackman was made for the role of Wolverine. Like,
and even though he's 6'2".
Still.
No, I met him in person. I was like, "Yep, how the fuck did they select him as Wolverine?" I mean, he's a good actor. He's a wonderful actor.
And
overall.
See
But
what they
hilarious.
did with Sabretooth, though. The original Sabretooth from like the first or second X-Men movie should have been Sabretooth and not Liev Schreiber.
I want him to do Les Miserables again and keep his same role, but make everyone else Muppets.
Wait, Hugh Jack. Wait, who do Les Miserables?
No, I'm saying I want Hugh Jackman to be in it and
Make it a Muppet movie
and do the main role.
I am sure he would be on board,
and 100%. I want the rest of the cast to be Muppets. That I would watch.
I am sure he would love to do that. Like he would be excited.
But I really don't think we could do a Muppets.
I think all remakes, if they're going to remake it, it should have a main character and Muppets.
I do not disagree with that. But how do you get a licensing deal?
That's okay. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Because
Narcos, but with Muppets.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Oh my god! Dude. Just like doing like you see Elmo doing.
This is the timeline we're in right now, where we're living in such a clown world right now that it's acceptable to do a movie remake, but the main character is the human, and then everybody else is Muppets. This is the timeline we are in right now.
I mean, it would be.
Can we do that with TV shows too?
Yes, dude. This is what I'm saying. I think it would be a great idea, and they can have their remake, but we get something fun. And give me the old
cartoony like.
I want the Muppets that were acting with like the Scrooge Muppets, and when like Tim Curry and Pirates, Pirate Muppets. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
they're semi-adult, but you know what I'm saying.
Muppets Go to Manhattan.
Yes, dude. All those classic ones are my favorite.
Those
but can you imagine like the horror movies? Can you imagine the horror movies, but with Muppets, like another Jason movie, but with Muppets, where Jason is literally butchering? How do you do Jason movie where he's literally like chasing?
The guts are the inner
stuffing. It's red stuffing. It's the cotton just coming out.
I mean,
I think the production would die laughing as they're doing the scenes.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
You have to replace the audio.
I think
the crew is just lying, laughing.
I think this would be a good way to reinvigorate Saturday Night Live.
Just
make an entire Saturday Night Live episode with Muppets.
Actually, I think that you have a very valid argument for them to attempt it because they have the budget to do it.
Yes.
They literally have the budget to do it.
Something could come of this.
You still
we should promote this.
All of the actually you train all of the actors in puppeteering.
The problem
is you still have some puppeteers with them, but they do the hand and then the other helps them with the actions.
The problem is Disney has to slap a warning because the Muppets were from a different era and some of the things might not be funny to it might be offensive to certain people.
Did you see that they edited the book of the author of the Charlotte Factory book?
Yes.
The reprints are edited, and they're edited to a degree that is laughably stupid. Did you heard of that story? They edited the book.
I haven't looked at the story. I heard they edited the book.
It's stupid. Because it's like the stupidest edits you can think of. Like, something about some character was like enormously fat. They took out the word enormous.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the weirdest, stupidest.
Cut out the word fat for inclusion. I see it now. I've got it.
Or they took out fat instead of something like that. It's stupid. It's you are changing a historical document from a time period for what reason? To not insult
He
someone?
also did the Fantabulous Mr. Fox to make them more inclusive.
Oh, they took all the books and they edited them. The estate was okay with it, but the edits were horrible.
Let's see, now described as enormous instead of enormously fat. The Twits, Mrs. Twit, simply beastly instead of ugly and beastly. Like, I mean,
what? Who cares? What fucks does the kid care?
You're trying to draw something in someone's imagination. So the more detail that's there, I think the better. Like, why are you dumbing it down even more? Right? I mean, descriptive words help your imagination.
This is the thing. I am all for people accepting their bodies by what they are and what they inhabit and the situations that they're in.
Absolutely.
But to glorify morbid obesity, it is a disease of the mentally.
But that's what they want, though. What is the percentage? What is the percentage?
You don't want to promote that as a healthy thing. Like, whoever's promoting that is mentally disturbed. I'm not saying that fat people.
But what is the
I'm fat and like I'm gonna upset like being.
What is the percentage of overweight?
70% of the U.S. is 70%. 70%.
Is that grossly obese or is that just obese?
No. Obese. Oh, grossly obese. Obese. You can look it up right now. Actually, let's look it up right now. ChatGPT. Let's ask the one that's uncensored. Let's ask Bing GPT.
There you go.
Oh, that's the sexy one. Let me make a new one.
Is that the one that says spicy things to people?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Of morbidly obese. Like, I understand I'm all for people accepting their bodies and all that, but there is a size where you will get to that it's a danger zone.
Yes.
That's it. There's a danger zone, and they're glorifying danger zone. That's what I'm talking about. There's people that are considered obese that are perfectly healthy, but I'm talking about morbid obesity. Okay, according to one source, 15 million adults are morbidly obese in the United States, defined by a BMI of 40% or over 35%.
Oh my God, how many millions?
15 million. Although 35% is not. That sounds kind of exaggerated. BMI of 35, which actually that doesn't mean 35% of their body fat. So I don't know what that means actually. Like, what is the definition of BMI? Because I'll tell you this: the
body mass index.
Yeah, but what is? Because they have. Okay, here we go. Let me just share a screen.
Well, that is insane now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I closed the wrong screen. Sorry, sir. Closing the wrong screen. So, but essentially, what's going on is we are getting bigger because the food is bad, not because we're eating badly.
Yeah,
people don't understand that part. Is we're not eating more calories than we ate 50 years ago.
Exactly. The food is just
no. I'm going to jump in and say you're sort of correct, but our portion size here in the United States is 10 times, maybe more than what the rest of the world considers a portion size. We are eating. You can look this up. There have been like nutritionists that have proven that it's not necessarily what we are eating. It is more portion size, because this guy went out and did a study and showed that he ate a normal caloric intake of complete garbage and junk food, and still dropped his weight and still dropped his bad cholesterol and raised his good cholesterol.
I don't doubt that, but there is still a lot. But I'm not discounting. Need to be putting in our body that they're. Oh, dude,
I'm not discounting the fact that a majority of our food is poison. Okay, and it's not even a real food.
1 in 11 adults 9.2% of the population is severely obese. Of
I don't
over
doubt that.
40.
I don't
So
doubt that.
that's pretty bad. That means
That's
10% of the population is in a danger
that's
zone
not
that
bad.
could
That's
kill them
horrible.
at any time. Look, okay, here it is. So normal healthy weight is between 18 to 24. So for women, by the way, after 9, as you go below 9, you can lose your period. So women lose their period below 9. Women are naturally supposed to be bigger than men. If people don't understand that, women are supposed to be fatter than men. Again, I'm using fat in the term of size in general. The
Yes.
BMI of a woman, of a female, should be higher than a male because they are the bearers of children. Therefore, they have to have a higher index of fat in their system
Well, that
for
makes
healthy
logical
purposes.
sense.
For a lot of reasons, they have to have more fat. Now, what the controversy is over all of this is the idea that, how much of this is like what's truly dangerous. What's truly dangerous? And that's a debatable point. Maybe the concept of obese is not dangerous to your health, but if you're in the cusp, it's dangerous because of different factors, because it can affect your breathing. It could affect your mobility. It could affect your weight overall. If it's very high for a very long period of time, affects your joints, especially if you're a child that from childhood is obese. It's going to overall make your life much harder. So you have all these factors aligning together to express the idea. It's not great. It's not great.
Well, I believe you should have a little, you should have a little bit of meat on your bones, but you
Of
shouldn't
course.
be.
No.
You
That's
know
what I'm saying. You can.
You don't want to be
I'm
hungry.
talking about.
You don't want to be starving. You gotta. You don't also want to be sickly, man. Like I've met some people in my life that were in the 600 plus pound range, and they were some of the.
That's anything over 400 is beyond bad, unless even
Yeah.
if you're, because 300, some people get to 300, but
Yeah.
when you're getting to the 400 range, you are close to death. The statistics say that once you pass those numbers, you're statistically going to die in the next 10, 15 years.
Absolutely. Like
You're going to die, and many of these people die, they don't get to their 60s. That's the reason why they
Yes.
warn you. It's because you're not going to get to 60 years old.
Yes. No,
It's the facts. You're healthy when you're 20 and 30 because your body can tolerate it. But wait until you get a few more years and your body's going to start to break down insanely fast.
Yep. Facts. And yeah, I can even say that they're gone now. They didn't they didn't live as long as you would, as they would probably have liked to. And like it's a slippery slope, it's dangerous. And again,
And it only gets progressively worse because it's a cycle.
I will point, like I do like to put a little bit of a point on some food and stuff because they are feeding us absolute garbage. They have regulated in, through FDA regulations, like absolute trash and food substitutes and stuff like that. And
so with your kids, can I ask a question about the cereals? When you guys figured out the cereal was toxic, what was your real reactions when you guys learned for yourselves?
That was before.
Wow, I've been giving my kids cereal that is deadly.
Dude, I knew cereal was toxic before the kids got here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
when did you realize, Bandit, that the cereal was like, this is poison?
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer in this stuff, but I've made it a point to do the best I can with what I got as far as keeping this is we have an ingredient household here.
Oh, you do what's the test thing? The after 10 ingredients, you're losing IQ points?
It's
what is it?
No. I'm not talking about that. There's in an ingredient household there's really nothing instant in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You have to, an ingredient household means you have to put stuff together to get food.
Yep.
Do all your kids now, at least the older ones, are learning to cook?
Oh, they cook. They can cook. My oldest son can grill down with the best.
Nice.
He helped mom with tacos tonight. I mean, they know they know how to cook. They know how to hunt. They know how to take care of animals.
This
they
keeps happening too often.
I mean,
Stop
it's
making the same meals as me on the same nights that I make meals because it's really fucking creepy.
Hey, tacos tonight. We shortchanged. We had all
Taco
fresh
Tuesday, so you can't use
but
that.
I did not make fresh tortilla. I did not make tortillas. We had the store-bought tortillas, but my God, we had spicy taki flavored tortillas.
What the heck is that?
I made authentic garlic naan the other night, and like
I saw that.
Oh man!
Oh, I saw that. Believe me, I saw that.
It was
with chicken 65.
Yes, sir. I figured out how to make it the Pakistani style as well.
Okay, why aren't you making a food channel, Jimbob? Just make a food channel. You'll get all the views in the universe you need. Just make a food channel.
Hey, amongst this group, we could make a pretty killer cookbook, man.
I have joked about that before, and I still want to do it. To be real with you, like
I think we can. I mean, we are all cooks. I don't know how Luis is.
I can cook.
Cook wise.
Yes, I can cook. It's just I experiment also a lot.
We all can cook. We can all cook in this group.
We'll start. There's
no doubts.
We'll start sharing our food in the show group chat with you instead of our food group chat.
And it really is one of those things that is important because that too is one of those things that they are trying so hard to quash. And society these days is not allowing households to cook for their kids, making it impossible for mom or dad to have enough home time to cook a healthy meal for their kids. Because
No, go. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it's a dark, sinister pattern relationship to the one-parent household. They eliminated the one-parent household. Look at that.
Sorry for
I am fortunate enough,
and that was all made from scratch too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Albeit we're not rich or anything, or we struggle like every other.
I've been poor. I
would like to think that we are like lower middle class, somewhere in the middle class, but we are fortunate enough that I'm retired and I am allowed to be the stay-at-home parent and do those things for the kids and the family is cook.
But I
would like to
the household person, be it the mother or the father, is still a job.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it is, and I realized I probably am eating the words from when I was younger, thinking that stay-at-home parents got it easy. I'm eating those words now, tenfold with dessert. Thinking like, how the fuck did my mom do this all these years?
Well, my friend built a laundry company to make laundry really easy for you, so I can help you with that problem. That's it.
I have found
I've got that covered. I could do that blindfolded with one arm, man.
This
I could do that blindfolded with one arm.
This is gonna sound absolutely terrible, but most of a lot of our parents, a lot of their parents, were totally putting a little bit of oomph in their coffee in the mornings, and
diet pills, dude. Pills.
It was
diet pills. Ephedra.
Yeah, ephedra. It was
What was it? Dexatrin. It was Dexatrin. Wasn't it Dexatrin? Wasn't that one of the diet pills?
That was one of them too. Yeah, I think so. There was a bunch of them on the market at the time because they all had that ephedra in them, and that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay, Mom.
Remember
we
Valium?
Get it.
No. Valium. It wasn't Valium. Mother. What was it?
The downer.
No, Valium, but it was Mom's Helper because it stabilized you. I mean,
Yeah.
Valium,
Put you to sleep.
lithium. There's different types of lithium, by the way. There's I've
Yeah.
taken.
We get it,
one
Mom.
lithium that you have.
You did cocaine in the morning with your coffee. That's how you stayed so thin and you got all the laundry done. We did it. You did cocaine. You did a couple of morning bumps with your coffee. We get it. McDonald's used to put a Coke spoon with their coffee. You know, we get it.
Why? What was that about? Did you ever question why the hell did McDonald's do that?
That was supposed to be a stir stick, not a Coke spoon.
Oh, the mini spoon? Yeah.
Sure. Could you show
The mini spoons, man.
Jimbob, could you show the cocaine
Pull up a
spoons?
picture of the McDonald's
I remember
coffee
those
stir sticks.
spoons. They never made
we all
sense to
do.
me.
We all do. Well, we know what it was for.
You can get one for
when I saw them, it
$10.80 on
wasn't.
eBay right now, guys.
Oh God,
Right
let me see that. Let me see that
now.
listing of that nostalgia
Yeah.
fuel. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, when I was a little kid.
That's a Coke spoon, man. We all know it. You don't need to. You don't need to pretend that
for
it wasn't.
$11.99.
Yeah, you don't need to pretend that it wasn't.
Why would you buy a piece of plastic when you can buy metal? You can buy a metal one.
Right? You could at least get a cool one.
It's more hygienic. You don't want the microplastic stuff in your nose.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you're thinking about when you're doing cocaine.
The
I
microplastics.
don't want this plastic. I don't want this plastic up my nose.
I only want natural Colombian beers up the nose.
Yep.
I don't want
I only want to
anything
use
but
this.
the nose.
I only want to use this rolled up. I only want to use this rolled up
This
one
rolled
that's
up-
probably been
some
been in a
bum's
stripper's
ass.
Yeah,
And-
up some bum's ass or stripper's ass crack in the last week.
What the? Well, you're going somewhere here. Well, we're demonetized fully.
Yeah, I've been there.
We're only fully demonetized, but that demonetized us from every platform. That just they just went there. Yeah, we're just showing it. We're not actually. Nobody's actually doing it.
Oh my
That would
God,
be bad.
no. Good
No, we're just talking about it. I mean,
what we were talking about. Everybody knows what we were talking about. We've said it.
No, you know that the use of it has exponentially gone up in the last few years.
It has.
There has never been more use of that drug
correct
in the history of the world.
Yeah, it's apparently outdoing the 80s when it was supposed to be the big thing.
And
then.
the price stabilized. So that's the weirdest thing is the price
people
stabilized.
are working 4 jobs. People are working 4 jobs. They got to stay going, man. I gotta stop
Apparently,
something like that, man. I do honestly have a cold. I haven't been doing anything.
Apparently, Albania is like the country that it's going on the most.
Yeah,
Europe. I thought London was the cocaine capital.
Yeah.
England and Wales are in second place.
Okay, so Albania took the first place, the lead. Okay,
Those gypsies got to
Holy
keep going,
shit.
man. Those gypsies got to keep.
Albania's getting that straight from Colombia, though.
Oh yeah, you know they are.
Yeah.
They're getting it straight
Well,
from the ship
I mean-
into their nose.
Albania is full of gypsies, so I mean, have you ever?
Oh, look.
I mean, yeah, they got to keep going.
I mean, the percentages right there. I mean, it's at one. Some people say it's like 5% of the population has tried it at one point. I remember reading one stat like that. They've tried it, not use it.
Well,
Is this tried or like habitual users?
This is
No, this is most of that is tried.
okay.
Or
Tried,
current.
gotta
That's
be.
cocaine. Well, that's current cocaine users at
Yeah.
1.8 million. But there's 5% is tried.
About a quarter of all cocaine users smoke crack.
Yeah, because it's cheaper.
I mean, I've heard that.
It's
I
way
don't-
cheaper.
Hmm.
That's it. I mean,
But
it's
isn't it
cheaper
a
in the
different-
scale of
I mean, I wouldn't know because that's definitely not my forte.
Eh,
But like,
I have sadly met a few too many friends that fell that down that far.
I've known people that did both, but
It's
never somebody that did one in place of the
way
other.
stronger.
Yeah.
It's way stronger. You hallucinate on crack.
I've heard that. Yeah.
You
Like
are tripping your balls off on crack.
Hmm.
So you're high, like the other type of high too. And it doesn't last that long. And now there's synthetic versions of
Yeah,
it
they're going to
as
keep you
well.
coming back for more.
Yeah.
It's no, do you see that what's happening in California? Trank. They're just killing them now.
Trank.
120 people a day are dying in San Francisco. I
Is
think it's
that
120,
is
130
that
people a day.
is that like crocodile from Russia?
No. Crocodile was its own thing. Trank is another tranquilizer. Crocodile was other drugs. I know it, and it's super cheap. That's a separate thing. I know what you're talking about, but they would call it crocodile, but it's Trank. Xylazine. Xylazine is what they're injecting. I don't know why they're mixing xylazine into this crap, but yeah. Oh, look, they believe it started in Puerto Rico. There you go. Great job, Puerto Rico. Good job, Puerto Rico. Great job, Puerto Ricans. You invented Trank. Thank you. That's
There's a drug called
such
crocodile.
a high crocodile. It's from Russia, but it's basically a synthetic heroin.
KRO
Vice did a good documentary on it.
KI. Oh yeah, that's where I watched it.
It's prominent in Kazakhstan and in parts of Russia.
Advice.
But it's basically cheap synthetic heroin. It's basically made up of really garbage pharmaceutical chemicals that they're mixing together.
Yes.
So, including I think eye drops. Oh, by the way,
It's
if
terrible.
if you drink, if you the eyedropper, the chemical inside eye drops, if you ingest a certain
Visine,
amount
it's
of
a
it,
laxative.
no. If you ingest enough of it, it'll kill you.
Yes.
Yeah, but a small amount is actually a laxative.
Well, I'm anti eye drops, and I don't drink, so I guess I'm not. I'm safe in that route. But here's that crocodile thing. I've had some
Derivative of
cutbacks.
codeine,
Yeah.
like heroin.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean,
Yeah, I think
long-term
we-
use causes
okay.
gangrene.
That's just a thing, though. Okay, when you have tyrants out here making laws against things like mushrooms or grass or other things that form naturally in this world, and making people's lives terrible about them, but yet they just hand them over all kinds of pharmaceuticals because they're a little sad. And like, this goes way back to where we were talking earlier. Like, we have so many people that are on these different opioids and stuff that were all created by people fucking around with things. And I personally don't think they need to be fucking around with. Like, as far as like this stuff's pretty dangerous all the way around in a lot of aspects, not just the new ones, but people will always create something to get high off of. And I think that finding that high in the pill form is not the best route to go.
It's a dangerous route because we're looking for the cheapest pleasure-seeking option available to us because it's just the easiest way out of the monotony of life. When you lose agency, that's it. Once you lose agency, you lose everything. And Americans have lost all agency. What's the point?
That goes back to something.
Most people will tell you, what's the point of living here?
That's that goes back to something that way earlier, you guys were talking on like different morals and stuff. And there's a point I like to point out to a lot of people that I've noticed that people confuse principles or values, their own personal principles or values. They confuse those for morals. And because I've always heard people that are trying to be like, oh, moral is such a, that's they could go, what's moral to you isn't moral to somebody else. And I'm just like, look, if you want to get down to it, I think morals in an easy sum way up is don't steal people's shit and don't hurt people.
Yeah, just leave people alone and let them do their thing. We've covered that numerous times.
Yes, I'll say it over
on
and
the
over
show.
too.
In a theoretical collapsitarian society, where you are in your little group with your people,
Hope you guys.
you might be living next to communists, socialists. You might be living next to ANCAPs. You might have transhumanists down the road. You might have a group of nuns 5 blocks over.
I saw 2 nuns today.
Are we talking about Texas?
So we how about you just leave each other alone? That's the thing. And just, go about, mind your own business and go about your day. But people don't want to. So they want you.
You want to live on
they want you to. They want you to conform to these, idiotic rules and laws and what they think is morally right. I mean,
getting their own values and principles
it's nonsense,
mixed up
man.
into it. Like,
it's nonsense, man.
I've lived in some, weird situations. I've lived next door to people that were
dude. You aren't the only one.
I've lived next door to people that were technically illegal. I've lived next door to people that were, completely,
I lived in the barrio of El Paso.
Yeah, and I've lived next to, trans people or cross-dressing type people. I've lived in the deepest part of the hoods. Yeah, we sure do. And I've lived in the deepest part of the hood. I've lived in the countryest part of the country. I've done my time in semi good sized cities. Like I'm good with a lot of that stuff. Like it doesn't bother me.
What's the most country place in the United States
that I've ever seen?
That's what's your definition of country?
Right? It's a hard question.
I'm gonna
the definition of country in the first place?
I'm joking and talking like the middle of nowhere Hicksville, but all right, when a lot of people see the idea of country bumpkin, they think
the hills have eyes.
Well, no, I was gonna actually say
or wrong turn.
Cletus and his family in The Simpsons.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's right down the street at the trailer park next to Sonic here.
That's Buffalo, New York.
That's all of Buffalo.
They're a bunch of beer drinking, redneck, like, NASCAR loving, country music jamming. The people that would get stereotyped as being, from the South.
You can get a mansion in New York for under $100,000.
Yes.
Like nobody wants to live there. It's so terrible.
My old house that I lived in when I was up there is like under 50,000 right now. And it's like a 5-bedroom house.
So sad to see a city collapse that bad. And what the fuck is wrong with it?
Have you seen Detroit?
Detroit's gotten a little better
because New York City keeps passing all these because the senators fight for things in New York City that they want for the New York City, and then when they make it happen for statewide, it affects them too. And they don't.
What would you say is a terrible policy that has destroyed Buffalo?
Ooh.
If you could point at least a couple of policies that really destroyed Buffalo, because you live there, so you have an idea. I've never even physically driven through Buffalo. I don't know anything about Buffalo other than listing the cheap.
I
don't know about
seeing it as a kid and spending like one school year in the area when I was real young, and then coming back as an adult, it was like happy-go-lucky, and then you come back and see it and it's all dead, and you're like, what? Like what kind of, like, I don't know, something out of like a movie. And like everybody that lived up there always said that it got bad after Clinton was senator and like ripped a bunch of things to shreds and did all these things that she did. And then now it was like pouring. If you go take your Google Maps and go to,
did she hateify Buffalo? Remember, they stole $8 billion from Haiti.
Dude, this place was run. There's this really interesting thing I did the other week by going to Google Maps because I was just looking around the area because I like to do that, and I was going down Seneca Street, And sometimes they don't update a picture or something like during the whole street view when you're going down the street. And so
There's parts that
you'll randomly get that one or two pictures that are like years old. You know what I'm saying? Like just out of place from the rest of the strip. The weather's different and the scenery's different and stuff. But
Mhm.
going down Seneca Street up there, you can see everything's picked up a little bit. There's actually some businesses in the area now, but at one point in time, it gets to a part where it was the last time I was up there, and everything was boarded up, and there was homeless on the street and stuff like that. And it seems like they've cleaned it up a little bit, but I guarantee Buffalo's still Buffalo. Like Buffalo was an interesting hood. I was in the South Buffalo area, and that was I don't know, man. It was something different. I learned some cool stuff there as an adult. I can say that. I spent some time there for a little while, but it's wild seeing still normal everyday people. Like people, a big thing that you run across when you travel north to south, east to west is people are like, "Oh, you're not from around here." You know what I'm saying? And people make assumptions. And everywhere I've gone all over the world, most people want the same thing. I've covered that before on the show before too, but like a full belly, someplace to sleep, and the feeling of safety. And then on top of what like Bandit said earlier too,
Well, the
like how,
illusion of safety,
or at
will
least
be
the illusion of
fine.
it, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
the illusion of safety.
but
See, no, and
you know,
unless you provide your own safety, then it's
all
not an illusion.
all over you're 100%. And all over the world though, everybody pretty much wants those same things, and a lot of people don't want you to hurt them or take their shit. And so I don't see why it's so
Well, remember
fucking
that
hard for
that
us to
that
look
that, that
past.
lovely lady, the one video I sent you, the lovely lady talking about that guy.
Yeah, yeah,
What if I show up at your house and how lovely she talks back about it?
yeah. I mean, yeah, dude.
That's a perfect encapsulation of creating your own safety.
And the thing about it is I met a lot of the same people though. Is what I was getting at it though. I think from Buffalo to Georgia to Denver to Albuquerque to Germany to Canada, like wherever I've been, I still run across that same thing. And I think that people, like Bandit said earlier, need to just kind of shut the fuck up. If your neighbor wants to wear a weird pirate hat and cut his grass in his weird fucking cowboy boots, like why say anything? Why let it bother you? Why be a Karen about it? You know what I mean? Like, or if you've got the dude up the street that is totally got like three little Italian dudes that lives there with him and they do weird, crazy, like gay, crazy things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like something off the wall. Who cares? Like let those people be. Like that's what I'm saying though, is like there's
People
too
should
much
be
worry
able
about
to do whatever the heck they
as
want
long
with
as they're not
whoever the
hurting
heck
each
they
other.
want,
You
as
know what I
long as
mean?
they're not hurting anybody and they're not including kids.
Yes. How hard is this
That's
for the world
that's
to get?
it's so simple. I mean, and this is
I've
applied should be applied universally.
I've met
Of course, and when it
I've
comes to
met people
drugs, just there's limits, of
I've
course.
I've met people from the right and the left that can agree upon that, but they still want to fight because they're like, like they're like, well, this something stupid triggering that's probably not even true, and vice versa for the other side. But both of them are like, well, yeah, I want exactly that too, and they just don't seem to look past that. I think that's where a big disconnect has come, and that's I don't know. That's been a goal here, though, is to try to show people that no matter what walk of life you are, no matter what you're into, no matter where you come from, no matter what you're doing, we are more alike than we are different. And if people would realize that, I think we would solve a lot more problems than we cause. And get a sense of fucking humor. What happened to the days of just being able to
Mm.
make fun? We all make fun of Short Jim. Like I make fun of Short Jim. I'll be the first person to make fun of me. And I don't understand why people get so
Because
butthurt now.
you're not that short, Jimmy. You're literally taller than Tom Cruise.
Am I
Let's
taller than you?
no,
Will I have to look up to you? I have to look
technically.
up to all of my friends. So I am the short guy.
You know what's the median
I
height?
honestly think out of this group, I think I'm the tallest.
You're
I
what?
don't I'm 6.
He's a redheaded giant.
No. I think Ox is.
Well, Ox is a beast.
I think he might be close. I think he's 5'10".
His pictures make him look like he's a giant.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
that one where he's holding
I
the
don't know.
octopus is terrifying. If you follow
Let's
him
see.
on
Yeah,
Instagram,
I'm
See, it
5'11",
really is,
so
'cause
we're all close.
The thing is, it's like being that I've actually met, like Jimmy makes fun of his like height all the time, but I've met Jimmy twice. Like we yeah, and he's short, man.
My 9-year-old is
He's
almost
short.
as tall as me now. She's
Hey,
a head shorter
like,
than me.
my oldest daughter would tower over you, and she's 13 now.
I believe it.
You know, but
Okay.
But you know what? You got to look out because I could be like a spider monkey. And
No, you'd be like
This is why
you were,
Jimmy is obsessed with giants. It's because everybody's the
yeah, because
giant.
everybody is a giant to him.
my best friend that I've known the longest, his name's Dustin. He has literally
You're
told people
5'8". You're not that small. You're
Dude, I
literally
am-
taller than half
Dude.
of China.
five.
You're literally taller than half of China. There's
When did I-
over two. You're taller than 2 billion humans on this planet.
I wish I was
Easily.
5'8". I'm 5'8" with my cowboy
Jimmy's
boots.
not 5'8".
I'm 5'8" with
I
my
thought you
cowboy boots, bro.
Oh, so you're 5'6"?
I will bust it. Yes, I will bust it out with the thing. Like I am.
Wait, you're 5. I thought you were 5'8". So what? 5'6"?
I am 5'6" without the cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you bust out your license.
You're
So.
the same height. You're the same height as Tom Cruise.
Yeah, as one of the biggest celebrities on the face of the earth.
I am a.
All you need is an Apple box.
I am
That's
a
it.
tiny little man. But Dustin's plan. Dustin has always told. He has literally told people. He's like, have you ever had someone throw someone at you, and they're like, what? And like he has like joked about and a couple times tossed me at people because he is like 6'2" and almost 300 pounds and like a very large man, and I'm tiny little Jim, and he could pick me up and throw me across the room. So
I mean, he's strong enough.
I would always joke around it
150?
every time.
yes.
There's actually like a day for throwing midgets. There is a national throw a midget day, and I think I get that
was
too.
the flying short shit. So
I think I get that to Jimmy every year. As I remind him that it's National Throw a Midget Day.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Is a dwarf anybody under 4'11", right?
Do you think they'll let me try out for the?
No, I think
Midget
that might be
Wrestling Federation?
5'1" or something. I think it might be 5'1".
As a giant.
What?
Do you think they'd let me try out for the Midget Wrestling Federation as a giant?
You could be an Andre the Giant of the Midget Wrestling Federation.
This could work. I need to get a hold of the Atlanta Midget Wrestling Group because I would definitely.
I think that'd be a trip, dude.
I mean, if you want to midget wrestle, do whatever you want to do.
I want to midget wrestle. I would be down to midget wrestle.
You wrestle?
How many? I mean, like seriously though, how many do you think you could take? How many midgets do you think you could take?
Some midgets are
Like
very
not
strong,
all
man.
at once. Not all at once.
You can't.
We could remake.
Not all at
we
once.
could remake.
Hear me out. If you
Andre
they
the
came
Giant,
at
Hulk
you,
Hogan.
if they came at you, you just had to use your bare hands. Okay, you couldn't use any weapons. You could use a midget versus a midget, but you could not use any blunt objects. You had to use your hands and fists.
All right.
How long do you think you could go? Like every, say, one was
Just
released
Every 10 seconds.
Let's go. Let's make it challenging. Let's go like every 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
One was released.
Yeah. So Royal Rumble rules, and do I get to throw them over the top rope and they're eliminated?
No, you have to knock them out.
Oh my god! What is this psychotic event?
It's not psychotic.
I mean, listen.
Knock people out.
I say let's recreate the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, big WrestleMania thing, but with like a Hulk Hogan mini and me as Andre the Giant.
So you dressed as Hulk Hogan.
No.
No,
me
you dressed as Andre the Giant, and then the mini Hulk Hogan.
and a mini Hulk Hogan.
I just want to see
should make this happen.
I want to see a midget Macho Man Randy Savage and a midget Ultimate Warrior. That would bring in a crowd.
That would bring in so much money. So you got to do that for a really good cause, and I'm sure everybody will be on board.
And
This
then
is what I'm saying.
we get to do the remake with Muppets.
Yes.
All right, Jimmy.
I think we're done. I think we're done for the night with this.
Yeah,
I don't think we could go. I don't think we could go any farther.
We already insulted how many people, and not intentional. We love all communities, all human beings,
Yes.
all sizes.
We do.
Do not
Yes.
take
We
this
do.
as we're insulting. Like, we love all people. It's
We
just
do.
Jimmy wants to wrestle with anybody
Midget.
that his equal. That and evidently his equals are midgets. So
I mean,
you identify with that community. So
I mean, why we should be able to get a hold of the Ohio River Valley like amateur
There's a-
wrestling group.
there's an
they're gonna beat the fuck out of you if they're actually wrestling. They're gonna beat the fuck out of you.
There is in Atlanta, and they are called the Midget Wrestling Federation here in Atlanta. Like, it is a real thing that travels around the state, and because wrestling's a big thing in Georgia, there's still underground wrestling.
Oh, maybe you mean
and
real
stuff.
wrestling.
Yeah,
You mean the real wrestling. That's fun. That's fun to see.
like there's
The
well,
performance.
No, yeah, like the WWE type performance, like that's. But the underground stuff is still a big thing.
It's
in
crazier.
Georgia, and it's wild. And there's still the Midget Wrestling Federation. That's a
do
thing.
you
Like,
see any of the super
$10
crazy
to take the
costumes?
kids. Bandit, when you come back, we're going. Yes, there's people that do all kinds of costumes and stuff.
I mean, the Japanization of the wrestling.
The
that's
mixture
been
of
going on.
Japanese and lucha libres and stuff, man.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of that. It looks really fun. It's like they're mixing, like doing like big, like creatures fighting each other. They're just creatures fighting each other. Like basically, it's like you're watching Godzilla, but right in front of you.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we could do like another version of
Performance
BattleBots.
art.
I think we could do another version of BattleBots, but with midgets piloting the BattleBots.
But you have to be on top of them or inside.
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
midgets
Actually,
and
it would
Muppets.
be more economically feasible to have midgets. Just size.
midgets and
it would
Muppets.
cost you. It would be half price for materials.
Midgets and Muppets. I think we're onto something, and we should get Hugh Jackman in on it too.
I'm done. All right, I'm done.
Okay, all right,
I'm
no.
done.
But this has been fun,
I'm
guys.
done.
I think this was a
Okay.
good night. This was good.
But-
Good for everything. Like, and
Battle
like
puns.
like
Battle
Luis
mechs
said,
and battle suits.
like Luis
I'm
said,
done.
we're not trying.
By the
to
way,
offend-
all human beings, no matter what size, would love to get into a battle suit.
we're
There is no human being that would say no to that.
we're all just
yeah.
having fun, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's that's just how we're
Yeah,
trying to be,
it-
man. Good laughs, good times.
I
In
know.
no way, shape,
Somebody's
or
going to
form
use
do
this
I
clip
wanna see
against me
anybody-
somehow, even though I'm not
One
disparaging
day,
anybody.
one
Oh,
day.
I
one
guarantee, man. If I'm ever sitting on trial for shit like this, I'm going to get a laugh when they start showing the podcast clips while I'm on trial. I'll be like, yeah, I remember that episode. That was a
gonna be
good
so
one,
good.
man.
And
then
Jimmy
I'm
did
gonna look to my
contact
right
the
and left.
Federation.
And then I'm going to look to my right and left and nudge you guys and be like, yeah, see, remember?
Remember that one, guys? Like, oh, that was so good.
No, there's
All
going to
right.
be a midget in a BattleBot suit in the jury trial. It's like, no, but they helped create this.
No, he's going to be the
new
judge.
reality.
He's going to be the judge.
Oh,
Going to be the judge.
Well,
in a
guys,
mech suit, but in a mech suit.
you know, and I
Yeah.
know this.
In a mech suit.
I know this one's been all over the place tonight, but you guys know I'll have all these links out there.
Yeah,
This
you
episode connected to everything that everywhere that you can stream us at, and even back at the website at unconstitutionalawakening.com, where you can still go to answer the pirate riddles to get your unconstitutionalawakening.com podcast.
We had fucking 4
extension.
winners last time.
Recently I announced it on the last episode, but recently I gave 4 winners on Captain Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates for just liking, sharing, and following the page and stuff, man. And they followed the instructions of the post, and we decided to give it away. And we're going to keep doing giveaways. So you guys keep your eyes peeled. We're going to be getting some new stickers and stuff like that soon. So even folks that have answered in the past, get ready, because you guys are welcome to answer again. Like we're going to just keep things going around. I like getting things like that out there. I heard our boy Steven, I was wondering why he ordered a stack of our stickers from the shop. He has been bandit sticking all over Bethany, Oklahoma, our show. So appreciate that, bud, and appreciate everybody out there.
Is that why we've had so many Oklahoma viewers?
I think so. And I appreciate all that good stuff. But I do want to get to tonight's question so that we can get on out of here. But I've had a fun time tonight, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode too. But this won't be pretty easy, I think. So get some free stickers. Don't just give up on it, man. He was a famous pirate, the one who everyone feared, a little color and a few facial hair. And this fearful pirate was, you guys can answer this one on unconstitutionalawakening.com. We'll talk to you next time. We're going to weigh anchor and get out of here, guys. So good night.